Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me in your space. It looks great around here. This is fantastic. I have a story to tell. As you know, I'm working on the Good Deeds Project, and if you didn't know, I'm working on a Good Deeds Project. This essentially is I'm traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast doing good deeds and featuring others who are doing good deeds and making it into a documentary, and it's been incredible. The beginning of the summer I spent on the East Coast traveling New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, meeting all these amazing people and doing all these incredible interviews, and these people are just doing amazing things. And there was some challenges and there was some stuff that came up. It was an adventure and it was fun and it was exciting. It was like a lot of different things, so many learning lessons. Having a tough day, and I let myself have the tough day. And then the next day I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna put this good deed stuff to practice and I'm gonna have a good deed day. So I went out, I was doing good deeds and I was having a great time, and I decided I was gonna go to Tim Hortons and I was going to buy some coffees and teas and treats and bring it to the Emerge. Emerge always has all kinds of craziness going on there, and it can be a long night sometimes. This lady outside of Tim Hortons, and she's in a wheelchair. She is selling these dishcloths. She had knitted them and she made them, and of course I decided to buy one. I gave her some money. Behind her wheelchair she had this balloon of Mickey Mouse. I said, oh, I like your balloon. And she goes, oh, thank you. I was like, well, that's why I'm selling these. I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, it's always been my dream to go to Disneyland, and a friend of mine said that if I raise enough money that she would take me. This lady was like 70s for sure. She might have even been older. I just looked at her, I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. I gave her like the rest of the change in my pocket and just was like, wow, that is so inspiring. She goes, yeah, and I live in this apartment building, and the people at the apartment building, they did a car wash to help me raise money, and I'm almost there, and I just decided that I'm gonna start making these dish towels and selling them in order to fundraise for me to go to Disneyland. It's like one of those moments where I just wish I had like all the money in the world so I could just be like, I'm gonna take you there and we're gonna go meet Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and Goofy and the rest of them. It was just a magic moment for me that I don't think I'll ever forget. I just love this whole knitting concept. So much so that it leads me to another amazing good deed. So I'm at this point where I need to fundraise for the Good Deeds Project. I've been talking to a lot of different filmmakers and documentary makers on what kinds of equipment do I actually need for a documentary, and learning that side of stuff. I mean, I'm not a filmmaker, I am a good deeder, the medium of film to spread the message and awareness. I'm learning lots of things, and I need to fundraise. That's not my strong suit. I have learned very quickly in the Good Deeds Project that some people have strengths that I don't necessarily have. I have strengths that other people don't have. The idea is to get everybody's strengths together, bring those things together to shine. It started with the Good Deeder who designed the logo and the branding of the Good Deeds Project. It was a guy that did the website, and he, that's what he does, and it's an amazing website. It's just been one hand coming in at the right times all the time. Yesterday, I went to Goodwill, which is this fantastic organization that creates jobs for people. People bring in their stuff that they want to donate, clothing and items. When you do that, it creates a job for someone, and that's huge. I suggest that you go and you bring a bag of something, and I think it's $27 goes towards somebody's job. So that's pretty sweet. I met with the CEO of the Sarnia Goodwill. Just learned that Sarnia is like #1 in the Goodwill industry and is doing like amazing things. The CEO shared some insights and wisdom and just lessons that he's learned along the way that were hugely helpful. Then he pulls out a sweater. There's this young lady who knitted this. I'm like, okay. He goes, and by young, I mean she's 90 years old. I'm like, okay. She lives in England. She made these sweaters in hopes to give to a child in need. He goes, do you think that someone would sponsor this sweater if they knew it was going to go to a child who needed it, or a mom who needed it? I was like, absolutely. If somebody knew that a 90-year-old woman knitted this in England and that a child needed it and that their contribution would support that, of course they would. So he goes, great, gives me this and a whole bag of these sweaters. He says, there you go, take them. So I have this bag of sweaters and I'm all fired up because I just love this idea. This 90-year-old woman does a good deed. In my head, I have a whole story about her. This 90-year-old woman, she's probably lived an amazing life of crazy challenges and joys and all the stuff that comes with life, and she's still living to give. She's using one of her talents, and she's a designer, because check it out, they're super cute and they're all different styles, so it's not like she just knits. She is an artist. She creates these incredible designs, and I just love all of them. I wish they were big people sizes because I would definitely want to wear one, but they're not. And there's kids that need them and there's moms that need them. So I'm going to be traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast, finding those moms who need these sweaters. I'm looking for people and businesses who want to donate to support the Good Deeds Project and to support this Good Deed specifically. There's 15 sweaters, 33 people donated $333, then we would raise the money that we need for the documentary portion of this project. The first 15 people to donate $333 is going to be a sponsor for one of these sweaters. And I personally will tell you the story of where this sweater ends up. So this is the thing about good deeds. When you do a good deed, most often we don't know what the ripples are. In this case, we get to know and watch what the ripples are. One 90-year-old woman decided to make a sweater and she gave it to somebody in hopes that it would get in the right hands. That somebody decided to do a good deed and give these sweaters as a good deed to the Good Deeds Project in order to help fundraising. So what I want to do is create a team of 33 fundraising champions. These people are responsible for fundraising $333. So you can either get one person or business to contribute $333, or you could get 33 of your friends to donate $10, or 16 of your friends to donate $20. All of these hands go in to the Good Deeds Project. All of these hands go into this one good deed that really has these incredible ripples. We never get to see the ripples that the good deeds make, but the Good Deeds Project is featuring good deeds because of those ripples. What do I mean by ripples? You never know what your smile, or by you holding the door, or by you helping somebody pick something up, or the good deed gesture that is just nothing to the typical good deeder is like, well, that's just what I do. Yes, it is just what you do, and it makes a difference. One day when I was in grade 12, I was walking down the hallway and I stopped to talk to this grade 9. If you would have asked me, I would have been like, it was nothing. Like, I stopped talking to people all the time, no big deal. 4 years later, that grade 9 was graduating high school and going to university. He contacted me and asked if he could stop by to give me something. Over some time, I got to know his name and got to know who he was, developed a friendship. But at the time when I stopped talking to him, I had no idea who he was. He came over, gave me a letter, we kind of talked and, caught up. I got to know what he was up to and that he was going to university and all these things. So I read this letter, and in the letter he shares that day he was actually emptying out his locker. He had gathered a bunch of pills and he was going to go home and overdose because he wanted to complete suicide. And because I stopped to talk to him, which at the moment was no big deal to me, I saved his life. He thought, wow, somebody cared enough to talk to me in that moment, and it interrupted his thinking of wanting to go home and die. It gave him a little bit of hope. It gave him the opportunity to see that someone cared enough to see he existed. Someone cared enough to stop and talk to him. Was it a good deed? Of course. But did I even know that it was really a good deed? We tend to do these things that we just do because that's who we are, but they make a difference and we never get to see the ripples. In this case, I got to learn about the ripple that made. Obviously, it warmed my heart. I cried. I was like, can't believe this small gesture of me just saying hey and talking made that much of a difference. And we never know what difference we make just by showing up and talking to people. And we never know what difference a financial contribution is going to make, or an idea to create a sweater is going to make, or passing on a bag of sweaters to some kid with a dream looking to fundraise some money. You think, okay, well, here, see what you can do with this. You never ever know the ripples. The Good Deeds Project already has so many ripples. Some of them I get to know about and some of them I don't, and it doesn't even matter. I'm not attached to that. I guess I just believe in the Good Deeds Project so much, and I believe in the goodness that there is in people and the power of good so much that, I came up with this idea at 3 o'clock in the morning last night because I couldn't sleep. I'm not counting sheep, I'm counting good deeds. And that's like passion, when you love something so much that you're willing to do whatever to kind of get it going. I'm a volunteer for the Good Deeds Project. I'm not making money off the Good Deeds Project. I just want to give and help people. My own personal business is kind of like on the back burner, and I don't even care because it's just everything's going to work out anyway. And not only that, but I want my business to do well so I can give. That's really what it's all about. I guess what I'm saying is that there's a part of me that witnesses the suffering and the struggles and the hardships in life and the challenges and you know, all these things going on around the world today, and it's tough to see those sorts of things. We can look at all those things and hate the world and think that it's this horrible place, or we could start focusing on the good that is happening and how people really are responding from a place of love and a place of hope. And that's what the Good Deeds Project is about focusing on the good that already is, focusing on this idea that the world is already amazing, and we get bombarded with the news and the photos and all of this stuff. Yes, it is, those things are happening, and amazing things are happening too. We focus on amazing things and we focus on that good that's in us, and we generate the energy there. It's inevitable that more of that will be created, that we will create a world that is of that goodness. So yeah, it's a Good Deeds Project, and I guess that's what I mean by Good Deeds Movement, when the project gets it going. Project is like this big boulder that just gets dropped in the water, and all these ripple effects are happening. And now, today, we all get to be part of this ripple effect. If you feel inspired, I would like to ask you to be part of the team of raising $333. So you can be an amazing person and donate $333, and the first 15 people to do that will get a sweater and get to hear where their sweater ends up, which I think is super cool. Or you could create a team of your own of getting 33 people to donate $10 or 16 people to donate $20, bring that all together and contribute that $333. 33 people bring together $333, then we will together collectively make this documentary happen. And then it doesn't just become my project and my belief and my amazing idea of good deeds that never wasn't a brilliant idea. It was always here and happening. I'm just featuring it, and so are you. And then we get to share this story with everybody. And I think that's pretty sweet. So thanks for having me in your space, and I appreciate the visit. Look at this one, like how cute. Like you know what I think? I think that I'm gonna do a journey across this continent, and then I'm gonna go to England and visit this 90-year-old woman and be like, you know what you did? This is what you did. You inspired the good deeder of the Good Deed Project to get a bunch of other good deeders together so that we could pass these sweaters on to kids around that need a little warmth. And I think that's an amazing thing. So thanks for watching and listening to my big spiel. I really appreciate your time, your love, your support, and I hope that you'll join the fundraising team, because this amount of money will support the documentary, and if there's more money, then it will support good deeds. And I think we're just gonna keep this rocking. So much love, thanks for having me, and take care of yourself.